It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the penultimate matches. Yes, who will win this year's middle school championship? We're down to the final 4 schools. 2 of them are here today for the first of 2 semifinal matches. Let's meet those schools right now. First from Benjamin Tasker Middle School, would you please welcome Samir Kumar, Joy Obiri, and Ajibola Ajani. And from Walker Mill Middle School, welcome to the program Nathaniel Banjo, Daniel Nguyen, and Amaros Mwanta. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty. The easier questions are on the left worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, and 25. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. We start our teams out at 50 points. And at the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play in the final for this year's county championship. And everybody here today, all members of each of the final 4, are going to be taking home books. Audubon field guides in a variety of topics. They get to choose whether they like rocks and minerals or the weather or reptiles or insects as a way of thanking them for having made it this far in the competition. And today's winning school gets a plaque to take home to the school, and each member of the team has an individual plaque as well, testifying to the fact that they won the Science Bowl in this 33rd year of our competition. A lot at stake today. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Joy, would you try your buzzer? Looks and sounds good. Good luck to you and to Ajibola and to Samir. And Daniel, how about the green teams? Also, looks just fine. Good luck to you and to Amaros and to Nathaniel. All right, congratulations, guys, on making it this far in the competition. May the better team win. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically B before W. So, Joy, let's play the bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams in the animated movie Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Peter Porker, a.k.a. Spider Ham, was one of these animals. Walker Mill?
Pig.
Was a pig. Yep. Okay, Dan, where?
Science Potpourri for 25 points.
Again?
Science Potpourri for 25 points.
Science Potpourri for 25. All right, teams. How an organism fits into its community, where it lives, what it eats, and what eats it.
Ecosystem?
Joy?
Ecosystem?
Niche.
Not an ecosystem. Good try. Walker Mill.
Niche.
What's that?
Niche.
Niche is right. Yes, sir. Good.
Dateline Science for 25 points.
Dateline for 25. Teams Rosalind Franklin did not share in the Nobel Prize won by James Watson and Francis Crick for the discovery of DNA because she had died before the award ceremony. I will give you 25 points if you can tell me what Nobel they won. Benjamin Tasker.
Physics?
Not physics. Nope, good try. Walker Mill, for discovery of DNA, Watson
Chemistry.
and Crick won the Nobel Prize in what field?
Chemistry.
No, physiology or medicine we would have accepted. Try again, green.
Green things for 25 points.
Green things for 25. All right, teams. The Philadelphia Flower Show every year is held in February, in the dead of winter. The reason why the flowers can bloom is because the bulbs have been frozen. They've been kept very cold. That process, yes, sir.
Cryostasis.
No, good try. Benjamin Tasker, the name of this process of chilling these bulbs and forcing them to bloom has a name that sounds exactly like the other name for the spring equinox. Yeah.
Winter equinox?
No. Vernal equinox. The process is called to vernalize. Okay? Again, please, green.
Body systems for 25 points.
Body assistance for 25. Teams, a Dr. Seuss-like book called Inside Your Outside says that your body's largest muscle is your heart. That is not true. It is, yes. Joy, what do you want to tell us for 25 points?
It is your gluteus maximus.
It's your...
Say it, Samir.
Gluteus maximus.
That's it, the gluteus maximus. Good. Red, go.
Let's get physical for 10 points.
Get physical for 10. All right, teams. Of the 15 scientists whose names are now chemical elements, the most famous element number, yes?
Einsteinium.
Einsteinium, that's it. Element number 99. You're with it. Go, Joy.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the people who distribute milk say that almond milk and cashew milk and soy milk can no longer be called milk because milk can only come from an animal.
A mammal?
Not a mammal. Daniel, milk can only come from an animal that has an udder. For 5 points, spell udder.
UDDER.
Okay, just remember, you're not the only person there. Let's talk to your teammates there so they can help you out. Okay, green.
Let's get physical for 25 points.
Physical for 25. All right, teams. The Pentagon is the largest office building in the world. It was built here in Washington during World War II. And tellingly, there is none of this metamorphic rock inside that building. Yes, Walker Mill.
Limestone.
Not limestone. Benjamin Tasker, there is none of this metamorphic rock inside the Pentagon, a metamorphic rock made from limestone, because the source of this metamorphic rock, most of it comes from Italy, which was our enemy during World War II. Name that kind of metamorphic rock.
Pumice?
Marble. Marble. Limestone is the sedimentary rock. It changes into marble with the conditions that are correct. Go again, green.
Zuprate for 25 points.
Zuprate for 25. Look at the monitor in the studio, if you would, please. These reindeer are running in circles, counterclockwise circles, to confuse predators. I will give you 25 points if you can tell me what C initialed. Joy. What you ringing for?
Clockwise?
Not clockwise. Walker Mill, this counterclockwise movement of the reindeer resembles exactly what kind of C-initialed storm that moves
Cyclone.
counterclockwise, wait till I finish, in the northern hemisphere. What do you want to say?
Cyclone.
Cyclone is correct, yes. Okay, go green. Okay, the buzzer is rung to end the first round, and it's a close game right now. Walker Mills at 110. Benjamin Tasker is at 85, and we'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Science Ball. Hope you're enjoying this game. Yes, it is a hard-fought match, and if the students seem overly serious, it is because there's a lot at stake today. Yes, the county championship is right out there. This is the first of our 2 semifinal games, and as we said at the top of the show, both these schools have won championships previously, but it has been many, many years, so they're anxious to get that trophy back at their school. Benjamin Tasker, nice to have you guys here. Joy, you have a lot of joy. You always have a smile on your face. It's nice to have you here today. Tell us about your school. It's located in Bowie, and who's your principal?
Our principal is Dr. Hill.
Wonderful. And very proud of you, I know. And you had no alternates on your team, but you have a great sponsor, don't you? Who's she?
Our sponsor is Miss Reynolds, our science teacher.
Is there someone else?
No.
Okay, she will be out in just a few moments' time. And and your principal's here, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll have them both come out, and that's proper because, you know, you guys are bringing a lot of honor and pride to your school. Tell us something about Tasker that you think everybody should know about, something that makes the school unique and special in your mind.
Well, every 2 weeks we have enrichment, so it's like a 2-hour early dismissal schedule, and you'll have activities with certain groups of people, and you get to learn different things like multicultural and jump roping, hopscotch, that type of thing with other people.
What a great thing, because enrichment that's what life is about. It's not just the required things, you want to do the extras. It's like when you decide you wanted to find something out about an instrument or opera that you never knew anything about, or go to visit a place. It just broadens your life. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a gynecologist.
Yeah, because you told me last time you want to be an OBGYN. What motivated that?
Because I love kids, and like delivering them into the world would bring me joy.
Wow. I can see you would be very good at that. You have a lot of empathy, and I can see you being comforting to people when they were in that situation there. Yeah. Thanks, Joy. Ajibola, tell us about yourself. I know you like to read, yeah? And what else do you do in your spare time?
Well, I also like to play video games. I like to play video games. I'm interested in things in computers, like coding, and also how computers work. I'd like to learn about those too.
In fact, it said today that not only do you have to know how to use a computer, you have to know how to program it and what it's all about on the inside. So you're way ahead of the curve on that. You're playing a good game here today. And Samir, how about you? What do you do in your spare time?
Sometimes I like to do origami or just, play video games like him, like Minecraft or something else.
Yeah. I might have asked you this before, but what's the most complex origami you've ever made?
I think it was like that horse that flipped whenever you flicked the tail.
Okay, a kind of horse. All right. That sounds pretty cool to me. All right, let's go over to Walker Mill, and Daniel, tell us the Walker Mill story. Who's your principal?
Miss Cribbs.
Yes, and she's here today, correct? Yeah, I know she's behind you 100%. And you had an alternate on your team, Gabriel, right? And he'll come out in just a moment's time. And sponsors of your team, who are they?
Mrs. Barrientos. And
Yes.
Miss G came by as well.
Wonderful. I saw her as well. So we'll welcome all of them out in just a few moments' time here. Something special about Walker Mill?
We have a lot of trophies from various different sports and competitions.
Yeah.
And we can combine like overall lax attitude with great education.
That's wonderful. Lots of trophies. You'd like to add to those trophies, right? Today, I know you would. I can see that you're bearing that responsibility on your shoulders over there. Your fourth time on our show, Dan. You know how to play the game very well. Tell us why you come back time after time. What is it about the Science Bowl?
Well, it's fun.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say I like the adrenaline that comes from it.
Yeah, that's right. It flows through all of us when we're playing this game. And someday, what do you want to do?
I honestly don't know.
Don't know. Listen, you've got plenty of time to figure that out. The number of choices keeps growing exponentially, it seems. Amaros, nice to have you back with us today. You have a lot of ideas about your future. Tell us about them.
I'm undecided on what I want to be when
Talk
I
up a little bit so we can hear you.
I'm not sure what I want to be when I grow up, so
Yeah.
I have a couple ideas.
Yeah. Adults always seem to ask young people that question. I know it irritates because a lot of times you're still trying to figure it all out. And this young lady was on the Prince George's Spelling Bee her second year and did a phenomenal job recently. So she's not only a great scientist, but she has good language arts skills as well. Nathaniel, nice to have you here today. Tell us what you want to do someday. Have you figured anything out? Are you still thinking about it?
I'm still thinking about it, but it's going to be something in the STEM field with engineering.
Yeah, STEM and STEAM, those are the key acronyms these days, and I know you have an interest in engineering, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, let's get back into the game. 85 for Tasker, 110 for Walker Mill, and the last correct answer came from Daniel. So, young man, let's go.
Dateline science for 25 points.
Dateline science for 25 should have been gone already because that was the one with physiology and medicine, correct? Okay, so is the 20-point one still available in that category? Yes. It is, should they want to choose that. I'm sorry, Dan, where would you like to go?
Green things for 20 points.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, the newest health food fad is celery juice. It has lots of sodium, it has a lot of phytochemicals, but because it's been liquefied, these indigestible parts found in the cell walls are no longer present, Dan.
Cellulose.
Not,
Fiber.
What again?
Fiber.
That's it, that's what I want to hear. The fibers, good comeback, go.
Body systems for 20 points.
Body systems for 20. Teams, your question is as follows. The clotting factor in your blood has a name that sounds like, yes, Walker Mill.
Platelets.
Platelets, yes, I was going to say, sounds like tiny dishes, and Amaros knew that. Thank you for your help. Go green.
Body system for 5 points.
Body systems for 5 points. It is rude to tell someone to shut up. a little less rude is to say, button your what? Tasker?
Your mouth.
No. Button your what, Walker Mill? Lip. Try again, green.
Green things for 5 points.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, Dr. Seuss had a famous story about Maisie, who had one of these rhyming green things. Joy?
Daisy.
Daisy, that's right. The daisy grew out of Maisie's head. Good. Red, go.
Science potpourri for 10 points.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, every man receives an X chromosome from his mother, but does not pass it on to his what? Tasker?
Sun.
Son. Good. Go.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. The largest ring of latitude is called this. Tasker.
The equator.
The equator. That's it. Thank you, Samir, for your help. Go.
Body systems for 10.
Body Systems for 10 points. Teams, one of the best books ever written about the Native Americans and our treatment of them was Bury My Heart at Wounded Patella. Joy.
That was an accident.
No?
No.
Knee, that's right. The title was actually Wounded Knee. Go. Green.
Let's get physical for 20 points.
Let's get physical for 20 points. This is going to be a visual question. We're also going to do a score update. Benjamin Tasker's at 115, Walker Mill at 160. This is the 20-point question of Let's Get Physical, and you're looking at Leonardo da Vinci's drawing of the earliest helicopter, his flying machine. Helicopter, hella, comes from helix in Greek, which is actually a name for this simple machine. Joy?
A screw.
A screw, absolutely right. Good, go. Thanks, Samir.
Green things for 10 points.
Green things for 10. Teams, if someone is thought that they could make a very good president, they're often described as presidential something. The same word, yes, Daniel?
Candidate.
Not candidate. Remember the category, green things. Benjamin Tasker, someone who could be a potential president is sometimes called presidential what? The same word that a lumberjack yells when he fells a tree.
Timber.
Timber. That's it, presidential timber. Go.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade, 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Cropping a dog's tail, cutting it off, which they do in competitions, was once thought to prevent hydrophobia, which is another name for what?
A fear of water.
Fear of water.
Not quite. Walker Mill, hydrophobia is another name for what disease?
Dehydration.
Rabies. Rabies. We're talking about dogs here. That's why they cut the tail off. Go red.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. This will tie the score if you get this correct, Tasker. The Greek goddess of the rainbow has, yes?
Iris.
Iris, yes, has the same name as what colored part of your eye? Walker Mill?
Dateline science for 20 points.
For 20 points. Teams, a cloud of Neptune, the planet Neptune, was named for the god of the sea, which is why it was appropriate that the newly discovered moon around Neptune was called Hippocampus, because campus means a sea monster, and hippo is a prefix that means what?
Hippo means excessive or over?
No. Hippo is a prefix that means what?
Big.
Horse. Horse, sea monster. Hippocampus is a sea horse, like a hippopotamus is a river horse. Go green.
Let's get physical for 5 points.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, this is just kind of a joke. Play along with me here. On the periodic table, they talk to each other, they date each other. Recently, O was going out with K, oxygen with potassium. That was okay. The next week, people said, now O is going out with this. You don't know where I'm headed. What do you want to tell me?
I don't know, just put iron.
Go ahead.
Iron?
Not iron. No, the next week after O was dating K, everybody was talking that now O is seeing this element, and they tweeted to everybody, OMG!
Magnesium.
Yeah, oxygen was dating magnesium. Go green.
Dateline science for 5 points.
Dateline science for 5 points. Recently, entomologists found the biggest of one of these insects ever found. Daniel?
Beetle.
Not a beetle. Benjamin Tasker, the biggest of one of these insects ever found was big as your thumb. And even though it has huge jaws, it still eats pollen, makes honey, and stings.
A bee?
A bee. Yep, go, red.
Okay, hurry up.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the metallic alloy that's a mixture of carbon and iron is associated with the city of Pittsburgh. Name it.
Steel.
Steel. Good. Green.
Zoo parade for 20 points.
Zoo parade for 20. Teams, guanine, Guanine, is one of the 4 nucleotides found on the DNA double helix. It got its name because it was first extracted from Yes.
Poop. Feces.
No, you're in the right track though. Benjamin Tasker, the droppings of birds are the reason why we have the name guanine, because what do we call those bird droppings? It's guano, Guano. Try again, green.
Green things for 15 points.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, anemophilous plants, like grass and pine trees, are pollinated by the what? Joy?
Wind. I think wind.
By the wind?
By the wind, yeah. Anemophilous comes from anemometer, which is the connection there. Go.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Entomologists are concerned that these beautiful Lepidopterous insects could be damaged or hurt if they build that wall between the U.S. and Mexico. Name those insects. They are, yes?
Butterflies.
Butterflies, that's it. Yes, indeed. Good, go.
Dateline science for 10 points.
Dateline science for 10 points, teams. You cannot teach a man anything. All you can do is help him discover it for himself. So said this Italian who's associated with the Leaning Tower. Joy?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Not Leonardo da Vinci. Walker Mill?
May we hear the full question again?
You
please?
certainly can. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only show him, help him discover it for himself. So said what Italian who's associated with the Leaning Tower of Pisa?
Galileo.
Galileo is right, yes. Last question of the game, Dateline Science for 15 points, is as follows. Pavlov's dogs famously did this when presented with a stimulus, a bell, associated with food. What did the dogs do?
Bark?
They didn't bark.
Salivate.
They salivated. They slobbered all over the place. And with that, we've come to the end of this semifinal game. It looks like Walker Mill is our first semifinalist. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Science Bowl. Boy, it was a nail biter today. That lead was slipping away, and the teams were just fantastic today, as we expected in this semifinal game. Let's look at that final tally. It is Benjamin Tasker 165, Walker Mill 230. Congratulations to Walker Mill, Nathaniel and Daniel and Amaros and Gabriel. Congratulations to you. They're very proud sponsor, Miss Barrientos and Miss Cribbs. I know you're proud of this team too. First step to county championship, first one in 22 years. Benjamin Tasker, a round of applause for these guys too. Samir and Joy and Ajibola. Miss Reynolds, I know all the work you put into this. Miss Hill, Dr. Hill, nice to have you with us here today. Fantastic team. I want to see some smiles over there. You guys, you came fighting back there in the middle of the game. You wanted this thing. And we're very happy to have had you here, and you are champs as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the second of the semifinal games. Don't miss it. Until then, Dave Zarin. Bye-bye.